entirely by corporate giants. The MTA says the ability for motorists to make real choice of repair decisions is likely to be the first of many changes. Well, the Who's Who in music is remembering Brian Wilson after his death at 82. There have been tributes from Mick Fleetwood, Keith Richards, Bob Dylan, Sting and his former Beach Boy bandmates. Brian last visited Adelaide in 2016. Friend and biographer David Leith has told Leith Forrest he played live until 2022.
He loved the response he got from the audience. It made him feel covered with the unconditional love that he really needed. In terms of everything else, he was just a regular guy who wanted to go out for a steak.
Now turning to 5AA's sport, and it's selection night for the Crows and Port. Adelaide play Hawthorn in Tasmania tomorrow night. Coach Matthew Nix says they're both hitting their straps.
Well, hopefully we continue our form. That doesn't give you a result, but we've been playing some good footy, and they found their footy again last week, and people have been talking about their form not being as strong, but they've played the best teams in the competition, and we know how tough that is. So they're in good nick, we're in good nick, so it should be a great contest.
The Power trained this morning and will name a squad to take on Melbourne. Their game not until Sunday at Adelaide Oval. We're heading into day 2 of the World Test Championship final at Lords. Australia will be after quick wickets. The Proteas to resume at 4 for 443 in reply to our first innings of 212. And Indiana has taken a 2-1 lead over Oklahoma City in the NBA Finals, winning Game 3 117 to 107. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Regency Park, a breakdown on South Road near Green Junction Road causing delays. Also delays too at Woodville Park. There's electricity works there. That's from an earlier smash on Port Road near Kilkenny Road. They're taking out the Stobie pole there. At Hillier, Anglevale Road near Wingate Road is slow for works. And we've got cameras Barnes Road, Glynn and Heaslip Road at Burton. With the MS Life Changer Lottery, you could win a 4-month world cruise worth $150,000. Search MS Life Changer Lottery now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA forecast, partly cloudy this afternoon, mostly sunny tomorrow, 18. Saturday showers, 16. And a shower or two Sunday, also 16. Right now it's 18 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
I'm Kate Collins. Tonight, a horror 3-car crash at Middleton. A driver allegedly failing to stop for police. Adelaide's tallest commercial building gets the green light. Why Donald Trump's reviewing the AUKUS deal. FIVEAA House on how to secure major deductions this tax time. And Choice reveals its shock sunscreen findings. 9 News, your news, nightly at 6 on 9 and 9 now.
Hi, I'm Steve Wormald from Walco Liners and Covers out at Paraka. We're a manufacturing business. So far as advertising, we've done a few things. Print, magazines, a couple of spots on TV, but we'd never done radio. Contacted 5AA and were teed up with James Wellham and thought we'd give it a go. Very much James's pitch was that quite distinct from a radio show with music. A talk show, advertising that comes in on chat show will be more like a testimonial. So that was quite attractive to me, to give that a go and actually be personally endorsed, I suppose, by the talk show. 5AA is the only one in town. We gave it a go. That was 2016.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise With Us link for more information.
Now this is a fine drop, a rare beauty. The nose is balanced and versatile, offering something for every occasion. The palette is complex, curated for both connoisseurs and casual enthusiasts alike. And there's the unmistakable presence of generations dedicated to the craft, with an impressive vintage of 50 years. The name on the label is FIVEAA. 3 generations celebrating 50 years. FIVEAA, your local independent SA family liquor store since 1975.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Leith Forrest.
Third and final hour of the show on this Thursday, the 12th day of June. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome along. On the Complete Care live stream, Facebook and YouTube, Community and Home Care Services. That's complete with a K. Nice to have you along. 8223 0000 is my number. Later this hour, we'll catch up with Vicka and Linda Bull. The ladies are here for the Cabaret Festival. That'll be a bit of fun. And we'll head to the US in just 1 second. Couple of text messages first. Rosie said, thank you for going above and beyond, gaining the really beaut interview with David Leith, paying tribute to Brian Wilson. Thank you, Rosie. Somebody loved Con's call just before the news about not aligning ourselves with the US. Says Con should be our Prime Minister. And Jamie says they want to spend more money on defence. America's not the only country that supplies our defence gear. Other countries may not supply as much, but their technology is just as good, if not better. That's interesting, Jamie. Thank you for that. So if you believe the news services, if you watch the news, you would think in some channels that Los Angeles is on fire. Is that actually the case? Here's the president, Donald Trump.
All I want is safety. I just want a safe area. Los Angeles was under siege until we got there. The police were unable to handle it. You can speak to the chief. He said it on television 3 nights ago. He said, this is more than we can handle. They said that. And the LA police, I know a lot of the police in LA, they're great people, but they're given instructions not to do this, not to do that. But in this case, they were trying their best. They were not able to handle it. It was out of control.
Let's head to the US. Jessica Craven is a political content creator. She's also a podcaster, an author, and a proud person from Los Angeles. She's right in amongst it at the moment. Jessica, thanks so much for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be here, Leith.
How is it?
Well, here's the thing. It's funny that people around the country and around the world are under the impression that Los Angeles is, under siege in some way. And the truth of the matter is that Los Angeles as a whole, as an enormous city, and, we know that it is a huge city. It covers about 469 square miles. Almost all of that is completely normal. It is normal. People are working, they're eating, they're out at meals, they're getting coffee, they are jogging, they're doing everything they normally do. In one, 5 to 6 square block area in downtown Los Angeles around the detention center, there are protests which at no other time would draw this kind of attention. And they are drawing this kind of attention for the simple reason that Donald Trump needs a distraction. And I really don't mean that as a partisan statement. There's no need for them. We're having fairly small, very peaceful protests. And then, at night, there are people coming out, and we don't know who they are. They could be teenagers. They could be right-wing agitators. They could be people who are upset about the ICE raids, which are tearing our city apart. They are bad actors, and we wish they weren't doing what they were doing, but the protests are peaceful, and the city is normal. So we're very much trying to get the message out that, LA, it's fine. We want our people to be safe and protected. We want families not to be torn apart. We want mothers and fathers to be able to go see their kids graduate at school. Right now, they can't do that because ICE is coming to graduations. My 15-year-old just had a friend who had to cancel a performance at Disney Concert Hall. They've been practicing for all year. Their youth orchestra had to cancel because some of the kids and parents were afraid to go because of ICE. That is what we are protesting.
Jessica, it's interesting to watch the news coverage of this because depending where you tune in, you're either seeing protests, as you talk about, that are peaceful, where people are singing and dancing. I saw a hot dog cart in the middle of one of the freeways where they were feeding people who were protesters. Then on the flip side, you'll see vision of someone dropping a Molotov cocktail onto a police car from an overpass on one of the freeways. So almost it's so divided, your country, the media's divided too as to what we're watching and seeing.
Yeah, it's perplexing, and it is a choice of focus, right? So those things are happening. They set some driverless cars on fire one of the first nights. There's a lot of graffiti. That I'm not denying any of that. It's just that those are not the anti-ICE protesters. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know anybody doing that. And the thing is, these are masked people operating in the middle of the night. We have no idea who they are. And so you can focus on that. It is happening. But again, that is something that the LAPD, which is an enormous police force with massive military, basically equipment, can easily handle. Easily. Everything else, the protests during the day, are peaceful. And frankly, not even that large. There were 10,000 people out this weekend marching peacefully during the day. But since then, it's been a few hundred. And whatever is happening at night, again, there's unruliness because there are people who will always take advantage of any situation like this to go and do, whatever, throw rocks, and I so wish they wouldn't. But it is also something that the LAPD can handle, and it is a tiny, tiny instance compared to the much greater story, which is that ICE is coming into our city and kidnapping people who are citizens, people who have lived here for 10 and 20 and 30 years, who have jobs, who don't have criminal records, who are our friends and people that we work with. This is a city that loves its immigrant population. And so we are focused on trying to protect them. And what the media is choosing to show is a tiny minority of what is actually happening here. And it's very, very frustrating for those of us who live here. And I invite anybody to come here and see for themselves. I mean, that is the best proof you could get. Come yourself or send someone you know to come and check it out. And I stand by every single thing I have said, and I'm posting as much video on my social media as I can so that people can see what is actually happening here.
Jessica, I saw one of the posts from the governor, Gavin Newsom, where it was basically military men and women sitting around with nothing to do.
Yeah.
You've been on the streets of Los Angeles in the last couple of days. Have you seen that too? There's an overwhelming presence of people brought in who are doing nothing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just posted a bunch of pictures of it on my social media. I was there with my 15-year-old yesterday for a prayer vigil in the early evening, and we walked through the downtown area. It is empty of citizens. There are no people there except for the few people going down to protest in front of the detention center. And then I can't even describe to you the law enforcement presence. It is insane. It is as if the entire city is under attack by a foreign army. It is berserk. There are hundreds and thousands of police officers. There are National Guard. There are sheriffs. There are cops coming in from other counties. When we were leaving right before the curfew, there was a line of police cars arriving that went down the freeway as far as I could see, and there is nothing happening. There was nothing for them to do, so they're all standing around.
I saw a stat on the internet, and again, you always take what you see on the internet, Jessica, with some grain of salt, I guess, that there are more Americans deployed right now on the streets of Los Angeles than there are in Iran and Syria, which, again, as someone from afar watching, just makes no sense. I've been to California, I've been to Los Angeles a number of times, and you're right, there's a great mix. I mean, it's a great mix of people from all different walks of life and races and cultures, etc. It just seems, from afar again, as such an overreach.
It is a massive overreach. We are, the majority of the population of this country right now is very horrified. Many people are misinformed by the news media, which often works in concert with the government, and that's a really huge challenge for us. But when people learn the truth about what is happening, if you could see the size of the protests and then compare those to the size of the military force that is now in our city, there's no other word for it than massive authoritarian overreach. It is the only word that just keeps coming to mind is insanity. It's insanity. So it's beyond inappropriate, and it's also costing somewhere. He's going to leave them here for 2 months. It's going to cost about $134 million. Meanwhile, the Republican Party is also cutting, nutritional assistance and educational assistance and all these other things. So there's a sort of collective insanity happening here that we're really working very hard to overcome, but it's hard.
And are you expecting to see this in other states? They're talking about Chicago and Illinois. They're talking about perhaps Texas. There'll be protests right across the country similar to these?
Well, yeah, because Americans we don't want to live in an authoritarian country. We don't want to live in a country that is a police state. And people are upset because also these ICE raids, even in the most Republican districts, there have been protests and huge outcry because ICE is coming in and taking people who are deeply part of their communities. In Missouri, there was a woman who's lived in the community for 20 years. Everybody knows her. And when people voted for mass deportation, they were told it would be of criminals. And many of us knew that was not true, but a lot of people were misled. It's not that lots of them are stupid. They are very misled. We struggle with a lot of propaganda and a lot of bad media here. So when they see it happening to people they actually know and love, it's a very different thing. Americans don't support it. And so the more they see that that's what this is, yeah, people are upset. When you listen to a young lady speak, as I did yesterday, about her father being taken in front of her and wrapped in chains and leaving her and her siblings, including a 4-year-old, alone, someone who's worked in this country for decades, it's unconscionable. So, yeah, we're very, very upset, but we are being upset peacefully.
Jessica, I appreciate your time. First and foremost, stay safe, although, as you say, you may not even need it because it sounds like it's a peaceful protest, but we know that there are occasional spot fires that are breaking out, so please stay safe. People, you can follow Jessica Craven at social media, Jess Craven 101. See the stories for yourself, see the video for yourself, and this is what we need in this kind of day and age, Jess, is to find more people who are actually doing what you're doing on the streets who can show us in real time what's actually happening.
That's what I'm trying to do. I hope that will show people the reality of what's happening in Los Angeles. We're a very, very loving city. We're a big, very tight community, especially after the fires.
Yes.
And we're just trying to protect our people. That's all. So thank you so much for having me. It really gives me a great deal of pleasure to be able to tell the truth about what's happening.
Thank you so much. Take care. Really appreciate you taking our call. Jessica Craven, content creator, political content creator, podcaster, does some great work on social media, author as well. Jess Craven 101, if you'd like to see what Jess is up to on social media and see for yourself what's happening on the streets of Los Angeles.
Our state can be proud of its unique businesses, big and small. Let's celebrate them with 5AA's Best of SA.
Cheapest Chips has helped South Aussies to live cheaper for 40 years. With 25 locations across SA, there's a Cheapest Chips near you, selling everything from daily essentials to storage solutions and garden products. Jump online or visit your local Cheapest Chips today and live cheaper.
The Best of SA, thanks to major sponsor Ray White Business Sales and Adelaide's 5AA.
Jayco's Great Escape end of financial year stock clearance is now on. Jump in a Jayco with huge end of financial year savings across the Jayco range. For great prices from Australia's biggest manufacturer, visit Jayco Adelaide today.
Kangaroo Island. It's closer than you think. Wilder than you know. More than you imagined. This winter, get a free night on selected 3 and 4 night stays. Book your Kangaroo Island ferry and accommodation at sealink.com.au or call 13 13 01 today. Terms and conditions apply.
What makes Ray White the big name in business broking? They're people, like multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year, Brett Buckley, and his team of business professionals. They take a deep dive into your business, finding value and potential, and they know what they're looking for because they know businesses. They're not real estate salespeople trying to sell businesses, they're business people selling businesses. If you want to know what your business is worth, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Multiple Business Broker of the Year awards.
Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. Up to 30% off Windows 11 computers. Plus until Sunday only. 10% in bonus gift cards on Windows 11 computers over $500. Fisher & Paykel 8-kilo washer down to just $644. Save $150. And save a huge $2,000 on Hisense 100-inch 4K QLED TV. Shop hot deals on discounted lounges, dining, bedroom furniture, big brand mattresses and more. Harvey Norman half-yearly clearance. Best brands, best range, best prices guaranteed. Conditions and exclusions apply.
Health and wellbeing looks different to everyone, which is why Health Partners is more than just your health partner. And thanks to Health Partners, I caught up with Port Adelaide's Matilda Scholes to learn about how everyday movement can boost my mental wellbeing. From quick walks to light stretching, Matilda says staying active, even in small ways, helps manage her energy, mood, and keeps her mentally sharp. Looking after your health and wellbeing is better with a partner. Health Partners. Health insurance made human.
Hey, it's Lauren here from Adelaide. Wouldn't you love a reward just for shopping at your local Star Discount chemist? Become a Superstar Rewards member to earn points, receive birthday vouchers and more. Star Discount Chemist. How can we help? Earn and redeem points on eligible purchases. Visit website for full terms and conditions.
Looking for a job? Switching careers? Or trying to find the right team member? Maxima will help you reframe what's possible. Everything from apprenticeships and traineeships to temporary and permanent work. Our consultants are dedicated to guiding you towards a meaningful career. And for employers, our recruitment specialists ensure the perfect match and provide on-the-job support along the way. Maxima Employment Services. Reframe what's possible. For more information, visit maxima.com.au or call 1300 Maxima.
5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
22 minutes after 3, thanks to Complete Care with a K, Community and Home Services. Our live stream you can check out. If you've been watching some of the vision too during our chat with Jess Craven, you'll see some of the pictures in the United States. If you're watching it right now, so there's a number of police who are just sort of loitering around. There's one person there with handcuffs, a peaceful protester, by all accounts. A lot of police doing it, not a lot though, to be honest. And it always amuses me that we get someone on who's actually at the scene, watching it with their very own eyes, walking the same streets as these protesters, and yet people half a world away are so disbelieving. Couple on the text message, another wokey in La La Land. The burning, the looting we're all seeing is imaginary, is it? Liars. Cry me a river. Jess is nuts. Go the Don. Okay, what a lot of rot. ISA arresting illegal immigrants. They've broken the law by being there illegally. Looting, burning and destroying is not protesting, says Damien. And Bill says, why is there a curfew if it's all so minor? What I would say, Bill and Damien, to yours is if you heard Jess talk about this, yes, there is looting and yes, there is destruction of property, but it's all being done at night. These are not necessarily the same protesters who are complaining about ICE. You imagine if you're a young kid or a person who loves anarchy and you can dress up in the darkness of night and put a mask on your face and you can go wild while there are protests going on, why would you not? We don't even necessarily know that they're from that side protesting against ICE. We see this here in Melbourne, in Sydney, when they have their kind of right. People just love chaos. There are people in our community and in our audience who just love creating mischief. And I'm sure that there is an element of that to it. But by and by, the protest that we are seeing is peaceful. And in terms of arresting illegal immigrants, yes, there are some people who came into the country illegally, but that was not Donald Trump's pledge. His pledge was to get rid of the murderers and the rapists. Now, as Jess mentioned, they're going to graduations and they're getting kids at prom and taking them out of this country, people who have lived there for 20 years and provided something to their community. And I see it a lot. I hear a lot of people and see a lot of people write online about how this is not what they voted for. Yes, get rid of the trash, but these people aren't trash. These people are people that have lived there for decades and have provided and contributed to their community. So I think it's really sad what's happening with it. And you're allowed to peacefully protest. That is a right that you are given. Not the unlawful stuff we're seeing, but again, it's hard to narrow down who is doing that exactly. Anthony from Edwardstown, before we get to news headlines, with a thought on AUKUS. Welcome, Anthony.
Yeah, well, quickly, that other one. I've got a mate he's a professor at Keck School of Medicine in LA.
Yep.
I spoke to him Tuesday. I said, are you still hiding under your bed? And he laughed and said, this thing is such a tiny area. Now, whether it's good or bad, whatever's happening, like that lady said, you imagine that it's all like the fires, the whole city's on fire. This is a tiny, tiny area, and he laughed and he said it's overblown. So, it's typical, it's just typical Trump, rubbish. And those other messages you had there that must be Sky News. But anyway, if I was Albo, I would be ringing up Donald and saying, look, I'm having second thoughts. I think we're going to pull out of this thing as well. And while you're at it, you can take home all these other bases that you've set up around the country and let us be ourselves as a sovereign country, which we are no longer, and say, good idea, Donald, let's get this happening and, let's look for some friends instead of these Americans. Just trouble, bad news.
A lot of people agree with you, Anthony. And look, there's a long list now that the Prime Minister's got to speak to Donald Trump about. So Lauren Tomasi got shot at a peaceful protest. One of our reporters was
51st state, not Canada, because Australia is finished if we stay with the US.
Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate the call. Karen says, what we're seeing on TV indicates that LA's like a war zone, which Americans love because they're gun happy. But Jess Craven indicates otherwise. Who are we meant to believe? Karen, I think it's both. In that, a TV service loves vision of cars on fire. They love vision. Majority of it, and again, Jess is there. She's walking the streets. You can have a look on her social media. She hasn't arraigned a heap of people to be actors and dance and sing peacefully as they're walking. Yes, there is looting and rioting and that kind of behaviour at night, but nowhere near to the extent that we've seen previously. And you remember what happened on January 6th? We're not seeing that kind of behaviour here. So again, it's difficult. Somebody said, I hope the 5AA audience can see through the left-wing propaganda that came from that reporter's mouth. Reporter in quotations. Thank you for that. Andrew from Penong, before we get to headlines, has his thoughts on Los Angeles. Welcome, Andrew.
Oh, hi, Leith. Good to hear on afternoon.
Thank you.
Leith, you've often mentioned that you're quite anti-Trump, and Jess, I do think, like some of those other messages, that she is on that left spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me, these migrant or these people working there, why didn't they get citizenship? Why didn't they apply to be, become citizens of America? And as we know, there's a lot of trouble over there on that border with drugs coming across. They come across from Mexico to kidnap people. It's a heavy scene. Now, yeah, sure, the truth is blurred between what President Trump says and what Jess says. But I remember, I don't know if it was Black Lives Matter or the 1990s ones, when Korean shop owners took to the rooftops with weapons to fire upon looters and things. It is a war zone over there. And you only have to look at San Francisco to see miles and miles of homeless people crapping in the streets and whatever. It's a very politically correct, woke county or state is California. Progressive, but you've got to protect the citizens. And there's ways to protest. But my question is, why aren't these people these illegal immigrants, if they've been there so long and they've done the right thing, maybe there could be an amnesty where, hey, look, you come and apply, you've shown that you've made good, you've had children, you've started a job, career, business, and you'll probably get rubber stamped. But, there's
No, Andrew, I get you. And Ray says similar on the text. She said, is there a reason why these people have lived there for 20 years and not become the citizens? I don't know the answer to that question, Ray. And Andrew, but what I have seen is also people who have all of the responsible paperwork and have even won their cases in court being grabbed by ICE officers in court. And they have every right to be in the United States. And there was a great clip, and I might play it if we have time today. If not, I'll play it tomorrow on the show, where they spoke about, it was every president of recent times talking about what immigrants mean to the United States. And we know that not everyone gets there legally, but if they get there and they contribute to their community, they are welcome in the country. A lot of these people, now, yes, take out the murderers and the rapists and all the rest of it. And Gavin Newsom talked about that on social media, where since he's been working with ICE, I think it was 10,500 people they've actually deported back to their hometown. But these are people who are working in meat factories, and they are people who have been in communities for years, if not decades. They're not the people that you need to be kicking out. They're not the ones that Donald Trump was always going after. So it's interesting to hear it from a first-hand account from Jess, who's hearing these stories of people who are beloved in their community, all of a sudden, because they are not of a particular culture or nationality, all of a sudden are being sent to El Salvador into a prison for God knows how long. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate the text. We'll take a break. Mel's got the headlines for us. On the other side, Vicar and Linda Bull here for the Cab Festival.
This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Good afternoon, Mel Usher with the 5AA News headlines. The federal government is being urged to consider increasing defence spending in a bid to keep the US on board with the AUKUS military pact. Virgin Australia's inaugural flight to Doha has left Sydney. Brian Wilson is being remembered as a music giant by the biggest names in the industry, including Elton John, Ron Wood and Billy Idol. And in sport, we're heading into day 2 of the World Test Championship final at Lords. The 5AA forecast, partly cloudy this afternoon, mostly sunny tomorrow, 18. Right now it is 18 degrees. We'll have more news at 4 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Our state can be proud of its unique businesses, big and small. Let's celebrate them with 5AA's Best of SA.
Calvary is a special part of people's lives. They're here to support, heal and comfort with their comprehensive range of home care, aged care and hospital support. Calvary, celebrating 125 years of caring for the South Australian community.
The Best of SA, thanks to major sponsor Ray White Business Sales and Adelaide's 5AA.
Scammers and fraudsters, they'll come at you any way they can. Texts, emails, phone calls, even social media. They're relentless. But so are Westpac. We don't just rely on one line of defence to protect you and your money. We've got layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of scam and fraud defence. That's a lot of layers. When it comes to security, you can never have too much. Westpac, layers and layers of scam and fraud defence. Westpac Online Banking, T's and C's apply.
Hi, I'm Steve from Walco Liners and Covers out of Paraka. We're a manufacturing business. We've had a massive impact on the recall of our brand. From AA, we always vet the phone calls coming in and have asked where they've been sourced, and AA is a very strong part of what we get on the phone. We've had people who've loved the ads. We've also had people that hate the ads because of their irreverence and annoying nature and have still said, look, your ad annoys me and I'm coming here under duress, but I'm still going to buy your product. So it's cut through. It definitely has worked. But yeah, it's since we started in 16, we've exploded locally.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit 5AA.com.au and hit the Advertise with Us link for more information.
So this is good news. Your new local has been freshly renovated and relaunched. We're talking about the Para Hills Community Club. More to offer than ever before. It is so fresh, the Community Club. If you walk around, touch a little bit of the furniture, the paint might still be wet. It's only just dried. The Para Hills Community Club social hub. It brings people together for a classic hospitality experience. Maybe you're heading there with a family for a bite to eat, letting your hair down, a couple of drinks after work, or you want some live entertainment. Maybe you want an exceptional functional space that you can use too. They've got you covered. The crew will look forward to seeing you. If you are someone in the north, if you are north side, you're a local looking for your people, your tribe, become a member. Join the community. Great discounts and specials to be had. Get to your new local, the Para Hills Community Club. You'll find them Bridge Road, Para Hills.
Go Vita, your local health food shops with 40 years health and wellness experience and over 300 natural health practitioners specialising in you.
Hi, I'm Natasha from Go Vita Fairview Green. Don't let your dog suffer in pain. Curcupet is a concentrated turmeric supplement specially formulated to reduce symptoms of arthritis in dogs. Now $44.50 for 56 tablets. For a limited time, pick up your free trial pack.
Go Vita, Colonnades, Fairview Green, Marion, Mount Barker, Manapara, Semaphore and Tanunda.
1 minute you've got a life in front of you and you're happy and you've got your family, and the next minute you've got nothing. And I thought to myself, this is the end of my life. I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow. But Hutt Street Centre straight away made me feel like I'm safe. I'm comfortable. There is another day tomorrow and it's going to be a bright day. That's what Hutt Street is to me.
This winter, help bring warmth and hope to people who need it most by making a donation. Visit huttstreetcentre.org.au.
Live, local. This is 5AA, always Adelaide. 5AA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
All right, so it's always a treat to see my next two guests because they are just absolute powerhouses and two of the most delightful ladies that you will ever meet. They are here for the Adelaide Cabaret Festival, an evening with Vicar and Linda, the beautiful Vicar and Linda Bull. Ladies, welcome. Lovely to see you both. Thanks for coming in.
Lovely to see you, Leith. Hi, Leith.
I'm looking around. There's no G Corns, though.
No.
Last time we were here together, you and I, Graham was here with his guitar. We got to hear you perform. He's not part of the Cabaret Festival. You haven't roped him in, no?
Well, you know what? It'd be very entertaining. It would be an added bonus for us if you did.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just imagine that. Jump on stage, grab the guitar. So I know you've got Cameron Bruce with you on piano.
Yes.
Tell us about this show. What can we expect? Because you're no stranger to our fair city. We love to see you here, and we've seen you here in a number of different guises over the years. But what do we expect for the Cab Festival?
Well, we're bringing a show that we've been touring since February last year. And really the germ of it started at the Cab Fest a couple of years ago when Julia Zamiro was the director.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is an evening with us, Vicar and Linda and Cameron on piano, just grand piano, two voices and one instrument.
Nice.
And so we tell stories, we go through our sort of life journey of songs, right from the Black Sorrow songs right through to now. Even going to unleash some new ones that we've just written that have never been heard before. But it's an intimate evening where we just want the audience to come in with us. We're not sort of yelling at them or just talking. We want them to feel a part of it. And
so I imagine, Vicar, it's a bit like when you're at home. You know, this is what you girls do when you're sitting around with time to kill. You sit around a piano and you just enjoy your voices, sing these great songs, and now you just get an audience to enjoy it too.
Well, yes, but we don't do that so much anymore. We did that a lot when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
We would sit in our rooms and sing to each other and sing along to our favourite songs. And so it's really sort of going back that far when it all started. It's the love of harmony.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remind me again, it's a family trait, isn't it? Everyone in the family can sing. Although I think you said once there was one sibling who couldn't.
One daughter.
One daughter, that's right. It was your daughter, Linda, wasn't it?
That's
I think
right.
we named
What
and
a memory to
changed.
kill me.
Yeah. Well, let's mention
She has
her
other
again.
talents.
Oh, that's all you need, isn't it, really? But so, because I sort of imagine this, you're a household of music. I imagine it would be so fun to just hang around you guys.
Well, when we're in Tonga, it is a household of music that they love.
Look, the Happy Birthday, I've got to say, every time we get to sing Happy Birthday, it's Vicky's favourite song. She just steps forward, and it is a good version of Happy Birthday that we do.
Do you give us a Mariah Carey sort of trills in the Happy Birthday?
No, I don't do anything with Mariah Carey runs or anything. Oh, a little bit, but, it's kind
No, a little bit. Yeah.
There's the high harmony in there, and we belt it out. We're not shy. And it's like, especially in restaurants, the kids go, please don't sing Happy Birthday, please.
It was kind of like our faces, the faces of surprise when Vaughnsy busted out the weight. It's the same thing.
Well, yeah, that's one of my all-time. I wish I still had the video, so I sent it to Graham. When you two sang The Weight with Graham, it was just because for us it's a mini concert, and this is what people will get to enjoy with you this weekend, tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday.
That's right.
But we have that great joy of being 1.5 meters from you. He's playing, you're singing. We're like, wow, how good's this? And then Graham decided to sing. But that doesn't matter. That's what it's all about, I guess. People will sing along at your shows this weekend.
If they want to, we won't. We never hold anyone back.
No.
The spirit takes them. Let them join in as long as they have a bit of rhythm and they can sing. And
we won't give them the tambourine.
No,
Will you eject people, Vicar, if all of a sudden you can hear them and they're no good?
No, only hecklers.
Oh, good. Yeah. You wouldn't get heckled though, would you? Probably in the early days of pubs, you might have.
Yeah, we used to in the early days.
Yep.
They got ejected very swiftly.
Excellent.
Yes.
I can see you too. No BS with you two. You're not putting up with that nonsense.
No, we give it back. But we don't get that so much anymore. Our audience is so beautiful and very respectful. So
don't you think it's a cultural thing, or am I generalising so if I think of people from Tonga or I think of the Maoris, family from New Zealand, everyone's from a household of music. Is it something you remember growing up with? Mum, dad, cousins, aunties, uncles, everyone sort of had a sing-along and then it just passes down.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
We grew up in the church. We went to church and that's where we learned how to sing.
Yep.
But also after church, they come back to our house and the music would continue. So that was a way that we learned how to sing and harmonise, just by listening. Then also, Mum and Dad had a real love of music, and we'd listen to their record collection, and we got our taste from that, and then we busted out. Well, Vicar started singing way before I did in pubs in Melbourne.
Yes.
And paved the way for us to just sort of get into music. But we did have that background where we knew we could harmonise together.
Who was your early inspiration? So I'm thinking of my drunken New Zealand family parties. It's always like 10 guitars or Po Keri Keriana. Even if you're not Maori, people will sing it. You just jump along.
Yeah,
What's the early music for you guys?
Well, you see, the Tongans sang their favourite songs and love songs from Tonga. Linda and I weren't that great at Tongan. Like, we remember a lot of the melodies and songs, but so our thing was kind of like Countdown.
Right.
Yeah. And our favourite rock stars from that time, and also television theme songs we used to love, like Petticoat Junction and Gilligan's Island. We'd know those songs off by heart.
Can you please sing me a line of Green Acres is the place to be?
Oh.
Are you warmed up?
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll go. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
Junction.
We're going to go into Petticoat Junction now.
Beautifully your harmony's just that. And I'm sorry, question without notice, but I can imagine. So who were the posters on the walls as young girls growing up? Who were the heartthrobs and who were the guys in the tight jeans?
Daryl Braithwaite for me.
And now you're probably friends with Daryl.
Yeah.
So that's
Does he know that?
I know. I think so.
He does now. We're going to clip this audio, Vicar, and send it to him.
Daryl's voice.
He's cool. Skyhawks for me, and also Deborah Harry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So with this show, are you doing any of those? Are you doing just your Vicar and Linda songs? Are you doing inspirational songs that you love? What can we expect?
It's no. Pardon?
Bit of everything.
Yeah, there is. No, there's a lot of. We'll do like a lot of original material.
Mm-hmm.
The covers really are traditional songs. They'll be gospel songs.
Nice.
So going back like that, there won't be any kind of covers of our favourite artists.
Sure.
So
You're not doing the horses. You're not doing Petticoat
no,
Junction.
we're not going to
Right,
do
okay.
that. Nothing like that.
Okay. I just
How's
want to
that? Won't be in the set list.
Missed
You
it
know?
out. I caught you out. How's that? Yeah, all right. So we're not going to just right.
No, it's not like that. It's a very intimate sort
That's
of.
your next show, though. I think for your next cabaret festival, I could see you guys selling out theatres, singing TV themes, and you know.
Do you reckon?
Oh my Lord! Do you know how good you just sounded
Get a
then?
bit tiring.
Not at all. I think it's great nostalgia.
Oh yeah, you know, we'll think about that. We'll think about anything. You know, it's that's what I love about CabFest. Actually,
Yeah.
it is different. This show is a little bit different for us. We may do one or two well-known songs from our back, like maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We'll surprise the audience.
Yeah, that's
we'll
what we
think
want.
about it, but every night might be a little bit different at the end.
It won't be all kind of songs like we're not going to bombard them with all brand new songs. There'll be
No,
the
yes.
set list is very much got songs in that Vicar and Linda fans
Yes.
know and love. So
Well,
you know,
your careers are so varied, aren't they? Like you've
Yeah.
been
Yes.
around. I don't want to age you, ladies, because you look as beautiful as ever. But how long have we been doing this?
40
Linda?
years.
40 years.
Yes.
Would you start when you were 3? Like what? How? 40 years,
Yeah, 40
really?
years we started. Like Linda was 20, just
19.
turned 20 when she joined the Black Sorrows.
Yes.
And yeah, so
How fast has that gone?
It has gone. It's been a great run.
Mhm.
Like Vicar and I've really always thought to ourselves that it wasn't really about being the most popular. It was being there for a long time. So longevity was always our aim,
Yes.
and we've achieved that. I think.
Oh, no doubt. So I saw Barnsley on the weekend. He was here for the start of his tour. And I got to
isn't
see
he
him.
gorgeous?
And he's always amazing. But it was interesting, and you ladies fall into this category too. When you hear a song, you love the song, but it also takes you back to your own life at that time. It was funny. I'm listening to Barnsley do songs going, I was in high school. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
sure music does that for people in your audience too. Yes, they enjoy the music, but it also takes a time and a place and the people they were with to enjoy that song, perhaps.
We do get a bit of that feedback when we go out to sign afterwards.
Yep.
People tell us what they liked about the show, and I think what they like about it is that they understand. Oh, that's the song. You wrote that song about this or this. That person wrote the story behind the song is as important as the song itself, and their connection to the music and the time that it came out is really. You can feel it in the audience. You can feel people sort of reacting,
Yeah.
or nudging each other, and that's been great.
Some of us were in school when you ladies were performing with the Sorrows for the first time.
yes.
I'm sorry about that.
No.
But I love it because, again, it's my childhood. And, I think that's that's your spongy age for music, I think, right through childhood into high school. That's when you become, right, this is who I like. This is who I love.
Yes. And I mean, it's wonderful, kids coming up just going, my mum loves you. She comes see you all the time. And it's like, yeah, I grew up with your record, mum, and listen to it all the time. It's like, isn't that wonderful,
And then they pass that down. So you
Yeah.
look out into the crowd and it's mums and their kids
Yep. That's
sharing
right.
that moment together,
Yep.
which is terrific.
That's exactly right.
So you're here, you're doing a show tonight.
Yes.
And you come in and see it. Is that your little warm-up for the show tonight?
Yes,
Just
that's
that
our
little...
warm-up.
Beautiful.
Getting into the spirit of things.
Tomorrow night you're doing a show and then Saturday a matinee.
Yes.
That's right.
The 5AA audience love a matinee.
Do they?
So do Vicar and
they
Linda.
love.
Vicar and
Yeah,
Linda
they
love
do. They do because sometimes it's hard parking and Saturday nights can be busy and city and all the rest of it. Whereas,
Correct.
bang, you're in. You're
So
out.
you were
you have a
thinking
good
about
time.
our audience.
You've always been like that, Linda.
Yeah,
Thank you.
come see some music and then go out for dinner.
Adelaide Cabaret Festival, an evening with Vicar and Linda. You can get your tickets on the website, adelaidecabaretfestival.com.au at the beautiful Dunstan Playhouse. It's always a delight to see you both. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
What
Leith.
song should we play? What's a song? We'll play it here now as we go to the break. What's the quintessential Vicar and Linda song? Do you think?
Quintessential.
Ooh, can't
Well,
you
like
choose?
when you do something and you're on the news, that this will be the song that plays underneath the highlight package. Do you
You
think?
should play Raise Your Hand.
Raise your hand.
Raise Your Hand.
All right.
Yeah? No?
Happy
Sure.
with that?
Don't you think?
Sure. I mean, I think it's that.
Is
or
this
When
your
Will You Fall
creative
for Me?
process, you two? Do you just go back and forward? Yes. What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
we-
Okay.
No. We have very long meetings, Leith.
Really?
Yeah. It's like compromise. It's
Who pulls rank though? I've sensed Vicar might pull rank.
no, not anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Linda, bossy one. Like
Me?
it? No.
I am not bossy.
No, there's a lot of discussion. It's a process.
All right. Tell us about this song.
Raise Your Hand.
Oh, Raise Your Hand was written by Casey Chambers and Brandon Dodd, and they wrote it when we asked Casey to write for our record, The Wait.
Mhm.
And she sent a song 2 weeks later, and this was it. And it kind of, for us, encapsulates our life at the time, and she sort of got it in one. She knows us quite well, and I think she got it right.
The audience hate me saying this because I mention all the time. You may not know this. My cousin, Casey Chambers.
No. Get out.
Di.
Well, how about that?
Is Di Forrest.
Yes. Really?
Casey's grandfather, John, and my grandfather, Len, were brothers. So we grew up together, went to school together. I've seen her naked. We were young. We were in a bath together when we were just toddlers, but still, it's a claim to fame.
Well, she's seen you naked.
I know. She doesn't talk about it like I do. Lovely to see you both. Thank you again. Always great to catch up.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you.
The icons, Vicar and Linda Bull, they're here for an evening with Vicar and Linda, part of the Cabaret Festival. Tonight, tomorrow, Saturday matinee at the Dunstan Playhouse.
Turns for 2025.
To celebrate, we're giving away a VIP experience for you to get along and check out some of the hottest shows. Plus, you'll also score a night's accommodation at Intercontinental Adelaide.
Make sure you tune in all this week from 6 a.m. for your chance to win.
The 2025 Adelaide Cabaret Festival, 5th to the 21st of June at Adelaide Festival Centre. Book your tickets now. Visit adelaidecabaretfestival.com.au.
The Royal Edinburgh Military Tattoo rolls into Brisbane with a spectacular opening night on February 12th. With over 1,000 performances, it's easy to understand why it's recognised as the greatest show on earth. Holiday Wonders are offering you the chance to be at the opening show on our Train to the Tattoo door-to-door guided 8-day package tour. It includes travel from Adelaide to Brisbane on the Great Southern Train, accommodation, meals and sightseeing. Call Holiday Wonders now for details on this trip of a lifetime.
Hi, it's Wayne Phillips. If you're in the market for a new ute, SUV or van before the end of the financial year, you must come and see us at the award-winning Wayne Phillips Ford. We've got a huge range of Ford Rangers, Everest and Transit custom vans in stock and ready to go. Come in and see us for an unbeatable deal with savings so good, you'll have to see them for yourself. We won't be beaten on price. So for the best deal on a new Ford, drop in and see us now at Wayne Phillips Ford, Christie's Beach.
Wayne Phillips Ford. Sir, because you've been such a good customer, you get a bonus tin of cat food.
But I don't have a cat.
That's not a bonus. Head to Sip and Save and buy any participating 24-pack bottles of Cooper's beer and receive a bonus 750ml long neck of the same beer. Cooper's Original Pale Ale 24-pack bottles are $58.99 and Cooper's Mild Ale 3.5% 24-pack bottles are just $49.99. You can expect more from Sip and Save. More deals, more range, more service. Prices may vary in country areas while stocks last.
Sip and Save.
There's more in store.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So when an alliance is formed between South Australian Business Chamber and Ray White Business Sales SA, all that experience flows to you. This ensures you're in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. Touch base with the experts. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Proudly partnered with South Australian Business Chamber.
1 in 6 Australian children are living with poverty, and it's creating a hidden learning crisis. For too many children, like 7-year-old Ella, the invisible barriers of poverty hold them back at school, and it's costing them their chance to build a better future. Every child deserves an equal chance. Don't let poverty stand in their way. Donate by June 30 to provide the extra learning support they need. Search the Smith family.
Your Royal Flying Doctor Service comes to the rescue of 15 South Australians every day. It can be a heart attack, motor vehicle accident. It can be a newborn with breathing difficulties. It can be someone you know and love. Your support of the Royal Flying Doctor Service makes all the difference. For the people and the life you love, help keep the Flying Doctor flying. Donate today. Visit flyingdoctor.org.au. That's flyingdoctor.org.au.
FIVEAA Afternoons with Leith, Forrest.
Complete Care live stream now going Facebook and YouTube. My thanks to FIVEAA and Linda for dropping by. In case you missed it live, you can always go back and watch it in replay. It's always lovely to have the girls on. Thank you, Joanne, for the nice message on Facebook about the interview. Got a text message from Patrina who said she loves FIVEAA and Linda. Seeing them tonight. Nice chat. Thank you, Patrina. Yes, so they're playing tonight, Dunstan Playhouse, tomorrow, Dunstan Playhouse. And if you love a matinee on the Saturday, you can go and check out the girls there. And someone texted in, and apologies, I saw this too late, but they said, please ask FIVEAA and Linda about the Byron Jazz Fest with Doug Williams 25 years ago. Great girls. Good on. Thank you for that. Next time we get them in, we'll do that. They are great girls. They're always a lot of fun. Works in the area around Woodville Road and South Road, city bound. Traffic is very slow. Thank you, Alicia, for calling in. So this is the Port Road area. Roadworks, Woodville Road right through to South Road, city bound. Avoid the area if you can. Bumper to bumper at peak hour just before 4 o'clock. Sports show coming up. We may not get to both Tim and Rowie. They are just doing the final touches there. The show is live from Alberton tonight. So that's coming up very shortly, as you can see on our live stream. Nice work, Sam, on the live stream. That is the section right there, which you need to avoid, courtesy of Alicia. Port Road, Woodville Road, South Road, city bound. Nothing worse when you're on the GPS and you see that dreaded yellow line or red line on your GPS, knowing that you're about to be just stuck in traffic. 4 o'clock's, as I've soon discovered, having not worked this shift for a long time, there's a lot of you out on the roads when I'm trying to get home. The beauty of working at night when you finish at midnight, it's just me and the odd stray dog. Amazing. Got home in like 12 minutes. Now it's about 35 minutes just to get to South Road. Sandra from Glengarry can have the last word of the day. Hi, Sandra.
Hi, how you going?
Hey, Sandra. Good, thank you.
That's good. Wouldn't it be lovely if Mr. Trump gave the Americans, immigrants into America an amnesty, and the ones that have been in America for, whatever period of time, they've been good, law-abiding citizens, get a chance to apply for legal status in America? Wouldn't that be more humane?
Sandra, that would be lovely. We know that he doesn't mind people coming in. There was a number of white Afrikaans come in from South Africa who have now been given asylum in the United States, but there seems to be something different about some of the Latinos that he doesn't like. So.
Yeah. But if they've been living there for so long and they're good citizens and they're in employment,
I agree.
What's the problem?
And Sandra, I don't know if you've ever been to the US, but if you go around to places like California and Los Angeles, but even through the red states like Nebraska, where I went to school and my family is from, there is a number of Latinos who do the menial jobs, and they are quite happy to contribute. They're quite happy to do those. I know that, in some of the agricultural states, they're the ones who are heavily working in like meat factories, for example. But if you go through Los Angeles, the Latinos are everywhere. They're doing a lot of the jobs in hospitality, a lot of the jobs in hotels, etc.
Jobs that no one else wants to do.
That's right. And they're contributing. They're doing the right thing. Now, are there bad actors and bad people and bad eggs in that group? Possibly, of course. And so fair enough, weed them out, send those ones to El Salvador. But some little old lady who's been, cooking at a restaurant for 20 years, she's not. What kind of threat is she to America?
That's right. And there's good and bad in every section of the population, isn't there?
Yeah. Yep. It's just sad.
Look at the news every night.
I get very sad. Thank you. Appreciate the call, Sandra.
No worries.
All the best. Enjoy your afternoon. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your calls, emails, SMS. We look forward to doing it all again tomorrow on the show. Hope you can join us from 1 o'clock, but stay tuned because Mel Usher has the latest in FIVEAA news on the other side. FIVEAA Sports Show. Stephen Rowe, Tim Jennifer, Sam Tugwell, live from Alberton Oval. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, Foodie Friday with Chris Jarma. You'll be wanting to watch the live stream, Complete Care. Crumbed lamb cutlets. Oh, can't wait. He's 2 from 2, Jarma. A special guest. We have a special guest taster, which I'm looking forward to, and a beautiful wine from the Coonawarra, God's country down in the southeast. We'll see you tomorrow.
Coming up next, Adelaide's only local sports show. It's the very latest in sport, live from Adelaide. Enjoy the crisp, clear digital sounds now with the